Federal Executive Council holds valedictory session. President Buhari appreciates members for building solid economic foundation. EFCC and key players in entertainment industry brainwave on how to stem cybercrime in the industry. World Biological Diversity Day. Experts advocate preservation of plants and animals against extinction. And now the details. President Muhammadu Buhari says the outgoing members of the Federal Executive Council have every reason to be proud of serving the nation to the best of their abilities, thereby guaranteeing their position in the history books of the country. Speaking at a valedictory session for the council members, the president appreciated them individually and collectively for bringing their unique skills and strengths to bear in building solid foundations for an improved economy as well as a more purposeful government. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that emotions ran high as members recounted their experiences.
It has been a journey through thick and thin. These 36 members of the Federal Executive Council began the journey from the 11th of November 2015 when they were sworn in as ministers, with 2 of them coming in as replacement for those that resigned for other assignments. Sadly, James Ocholi, one of the first set, died in a motor accident just 4 months after he was sworn in as minister.
You should be proud to have introduced.
President Muhammadu Buhari, presiding over this last meeting of FEC, acknowledges the contributions of the ministers in bringing the nation back on its feet.
You should be proud to have been part of the government that liberated the local governments previously under Boko Haram rule. You should be proud to have contributed to our food security and economic diversification agenda, which led to the revival of our rural agrarian economy. You should be proud to have been part of the team that developed the economic recovery and growth plan. You should be proud to have introduced the social investment program that enhanced livelihoods of millions of Nigerians. You should be proud to have participated in settling outstanding pensions of many senior citizens abandoned by previous governments, while supporting state governments to meet their salary arrears. Of course, you should all be proud to have overseen the most ambitious road, rail, and airport rehabilitation programs in the history of our country.
And this is what Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has to say about the outgoing cabinet.
This has been an exceptionally patriotic and talented team. Everyone brought experience, knowledge, wisdom, and selflessness to council deliberations at all times. I treasure the friendships that we have built amongst ourselves and even amongst our family members.
The ministers, in turn, speak glowingly of the leadership quality of the president and the lesson learned from being in the cabinet.
President, when I talk about your institutional leadership, what I mean is that whenever I see what you are going through, then I consider my own problems a pastime.
We've done that with very many sacrifices. This is probably the first president that I will know who would have served 4 years, and I can attest that no oil block has been given to him, neither to me. I can also attest that there's no contract that he's shown any interest personally, neither have I.
Your consistency of character and style of leadership is exemplary, and this is what inspires us as Nigerians, even those who say are not your friends. Your Excellency, the Vice President, from you I have learned hard work and loyalty.
Well, this will be the last time the ministers will be coming together to take decisions in the council chambers. But they will still have to remain in office till the 28th of May before they hand over to the permanent secretaries of the various ministries. From the presidential villa in Abuja, Jude Onifade, NTA News.
Thanks, Jude. In another development, President Muhammad Buhari has received reports of killings in Katsina State on Tuesday with shock, assuring citizens that the government will restore peace and stability in the polity. A statement by Garba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, says the President directed Acting Inspector General of Police and Chief of Defense Staff to constitute an assessment team to intervene immediately in the state and bring a feedback. The President specifically instructed the security chiefs to find out how the operation was carried out by the perpetrators, not minding the holy month of Ramadan, and put in place structures to prevent future occurrences. The President, who has been briefed on the criminal and political intents of the attacks in Katsina and other parts of the north, described the carnage as senseless. President Buhari admonished that all those instigating violence in the north and other parts of the country will be exposed and made to face the wrath of the law. The President commiserated with the governor and people of Katsina State over the losses. He prayed that Allah will comfort those who have lost loved ones. Recently, the Senate passed the Nigeria Police Repeal and Reenactment Bill, which seeks to, among other things, improve crime fighting, provide framework for Police Service Commission, and ensure cooperation between the police and the communities. But members of the House of Representatives, while scrutinizing the bill, observed some clauses that could not be applicable. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The Nigeria Police Bill was forwarded from the Senate for concurrence. Among areas that contradicts the provisions of the Constitution as observed by House members include procedure for the appointments of the Inspector General of Police, State Commissioners of Police, and the number of Deputy Inspector Generals of Police. House members, while debating the Nigeria Police Bill, highlighted the observed lacuna therein.
Clause 7 of the bill talks about the appointment of the Inspector General of the Police, which will be done by the President upon the advice of the Police Council. And nothing is mentioned about confirmation by the Senate.
If you look at the military, they have a lot of GOCs, they have a lot of generals. So in the police, they have 7 DIGs. And the bill is saying that you should reduce the number of DIGs from 7 to make it 1. Are we trying to move forward, or are we trying to come back?
How do you ordinarily want to get the consent of the state governor for the appointment of Commissioner of Police?
When the Speaker put forward the question for second reading of the bill, this was the response of members.
Honorable colleagues, the question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. It's like the nays have it.
Other bills that made it through second reading include the Electric Power Sector Reform Bill, which seeks to prohibit the theft of electricity and vandalism of infrastructure in the sector, and bills to establish Federal University of Land Resources Technology, each in Plateau and Imo states, as moved by Representative Jerry Alagboso and Edward Pojok. Wednesday's plenary featured the passage of 6 bills, among them a bill for an act to prohibit the use, manufacture and importation of plastic bags due to their harmful effects on the environment. The lawmakers also called for urgent intervention on the incidents of burning oil fields in parts of Ondo State under the joint venture operations of NNPC and Chevron.
If immediate action is not taken, one of the longest coastline in Nigeria, which of course is in my place, with all its economic potentials, may be in jeopardy.
At the Committee of the Whole, House members considered and approved 10 reports. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
A blend of 57 men and women picked from the armed forces as well as other government agencies have been loaded with basic knowledge on space technology and spacecraft engineering. Chimdima Ndubisi reports that the skills will come in handy in combating insecurity and other development challenges of the country.
Most developing countries these days are leveraging on the benefits space technology provides to solve their national challenges, especially security matters. For instance, space technology such as imagery can be used in identifying ground targets, the global positioning system for navigating weapons system on target. So is the signals intelligence used in detecting communications and telecommunications in information exchange. The infrared satellite sensors can spot missile launches, while meteorological satellites provide weather data for the military.
Give us the technology and the science we need in the field to counter all the myriads of challenges that we have as a nation.
That's exactly the knowledge Flying Officer Ayomide Stephen and 56 others have acquired at the Space Technology and Spacecraft Engineering Basic and Intermediate Training course. Officer Ayomide says he's now equipped to handle the nation's security issues such as pipeline vandalism, insurgency and cyber crimes.
Designs of satellites. Now, I think I confidently say every participant can give an advanced design concerning their own sources. They can compete with their contemporary on a basic and intermediate stage.
We did a specific training regarding remote sensing and some of this application of space products to tackle that. So regarding remote sensing can be used to tackle some of these problems we are currently facing in the country.
The course, which lasted for 4 months, took place here at the National Space Research and Development Agency, saving the federal government millions of naira that would have been spent if the course was done outside the country. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
Thanks, Chimdima. Still on security matters. The high rate of cybercrime under the guise of the entertainment industry is a source of concern in Nigeria, prompting the agency responsible for prevention and prosecution to engage some key players in the entertainment industry to find a common ground on ways of fighting corruption. Dele Atumbi reports.
On a first glance, one may think a movie, a fashion show or musical concert is in the offing because of the faces here. But this time around, these artists are meeting officials of the FCC to forge a common front to check cybercrimes in the entertainment industry and stem the tide of corruption in the country. Their collaboration necessitated by recent arrests of a popular artist in Lagos over his alleged involvement in cybercrime, popularly known as Yahoo Yahoo. The meeting decried the bad image the Commission of Cybercrimes is giving to the country of a good people with a potentially great nation. The artists agreed to be partners in the anti-corruption mantra of the administration with particular focus on sanitizing the entertainment industry of the activities of cybercrimes offenders.
A clarion call that you must kick against corruption.
Yahoo boys always come as people believe that some of them are part of us. They are not. And we are ready to help them, to fish them out.
With this synergy, the FCC is poised to scale up its fight on economic and financial crimes with no hiding place for internet fraudsters.
I want them to take ownership of the fight against corruption. You know, this is a very effective strategy in trying to mobilize every Nigerian, because every Nigerian has a responsibility to fight corruption.
Both artists and EFCC intended to carry the message of the fight to the grassroots. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
And to the aviation sector. A multi-million naira terminal building of the Umar Musa Yar'Adua International Airport, Katsina, has been inaugurated by the Minister of State Aviation, Hadi Sirika. Correspondent Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports that the airport has been lacking such modern facility since its formal inauguration 28 years ago. His report.
Inaugurating the project, the Minister of State Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, disclosed that it is among several of its kind being executed across the country by the current administration. The aim is to make Nigeria's air transport among the best in the world. At the Umar Musa Yar'Adua University, Katsina, the minister inaugurated a meteorological station undertaken by the National Meteorological Agency (NIMET) to boost educational research and development in the institution. Also inaugurated was the Katsina Meteorological Institute, which will run courses in meteorological education such as ordinary national and higher diplomas and in-service training, in addition to conducting research on climate change and adaptation. The minister was taken around the institute by the Director General NIMET, Professor Sani Abubakar Mashi.
We had 157 projects, out of which 134 are completed 100%. In Katsina also, of course, obviously is not left behind. We have a new terminal building that we commissioned for the airport. We have a meteorological institute here in Katsina, which we just commissioned now for use.
In Katsina, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
You're still watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja. Stay tuned for more news after the break. Thanks for staying. And for news from the financial sector, Chiazala Mekie is standing by.
Thanks for joining me. The Federation Accounts Allocation Committee, FAC, has shared a total of 616.198 billion naira to the 3 tiers of government for the month of April 2019. The committee announced that as at 20th May 2019, the balance in the excess crude account was $144 million. A communique issued by the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee indicates that the federal government received 253.9 billion naira, the states received 168.05 billion naira, while the local government councils received 126.2 billion naira. Meanwhile, Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers has commended the decision of the federal government to remove value-added tax from domestically produced liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas. The federal government signed the approval of VAT removal on LPG after several pleas by operators. And British inflation rose by less than investors and the Bank of England had expected, but still hit its highest level this year. This was pushed up by a rise in energy bills. The National Statistics Office said the UK consumer prices rose at an annual rate of 2.1% in April after a 1.9% increase in March. And Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates will participate in a conference next month aimed at encouraging investments in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. This is part of the U.S. President Donald Trump's long-awaited Israel-Palestinian peace plan. The Saudi Minister of Economy and Planning will attend. Saudi Arabia has assured Arab allies it would not endorse any U.S. plan that fails to meet key Palestinian demands, which include Arab East Jerusalem as the capital of a Palestinian state. That's the package. I'm Chiazala Mekie.
The chairman, CEO, Diaspora Commission is advocating a holistic diaspora policy framework and mapping to effectively deploy adequate resources that will cater for Nigerians in the diaspora. This was when the International Center for Migration Policy Development visited the commission. Abdusalam Jubril has details.
Barely few months after the establishment of the Diaspora Commission, it is already making its presence felt, especially by those it is supposed to serve. The Diaspora Commission has even started attracting the attention of international organizations who want to collaborate to solve some issues. Chairman of the Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, sees the development as positive and was quick to tell the visiting delegation from ICMPD to support it achieve its mission and vision.
As a new commission,
It's important to build capacity, to have a retreat, to train and retrain, because this is a new field for our staff. So it's important to build capacity to enable every staff, be prepared for the task ahead.
I talked about these specific initiatives, and one of them was the Global Diaspora Facility. That has been recently launched in May of this year, and I think there are a lot of interesting, very relevant components based on which we could work together with the Commission.
The Europe-based 17-member state organization carries out projects and activities on migration-related issues and provide policy recommendations to governmental agencies. In Abuja, Abdusalam Jubril, NTA News.
Early this month, the 2019 UN report on biodiversity concluded that an unprecedented decline in nature is threatening humanity. It said 1 million species of plants and animals around the world are now at risk of extinction, mostly due to human activities. Now, as Nigeria joins the world to celebrate the 2019 Biodiversity Day, which comes with the theme, Our Biodiversity, Our Food, Our Health, Justin Bemuni reports on the need to bend the curve of biodiversity loss and also gives a highlight of biological resources constituting a capital asset with great potential for yielding sustainable benefits.
When you hear the word biodiversity, it is simply a term given to the variety of life on Earth and the natural patterns it forms. This explains the wide variety of plants, animals, and microorganisms that abound in the world. Research shows that without biodiversity, there would be no such diverse industries as agriculture, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals, just to mention a few. A recently released UN report says these variety of plants and animals are going into extinction, largely as a result of human activity.
In the last 100 years, records have shown that more than 90% of crop varieties have disappeared from farmers' fields. Half of the breeds of many domestic animals have been lost, and all of the world's 17 main fishing grounds are now being fished at or above their sustainable limits. Now, this calls for concern, and the experts are saying this is a dangerous thing.
Experts are now of the opinion that urgent and decisive actions are needed to conserve and maintain genes, species, and ecosystems. This is with a view to ensuring the sustainable management and use of biological resources, having it in mind that these resources are the pillars upon which human beings build civilization.
And immediately you have a shift in the equilibrium, we have chaos. So in biodiversity, I will talk as an entomologist now. In the insects, we believe that insects are responsible for 80% of pollination of our crops. It means that if we kill them, it means we will not have food on our tables.
2019's theme for the International Day for Biological Diversity is Our Biodiversity, Our Food, Our Health, which aims to leverage knowledge and spread awareness on the dependency of human food systems, nutrition, and health on biodiversity and health ecosystem.
Biosafety is to ensure that biodiversity is adequately protected, adequately conserved, and sustainably utilized.
In Abuja, Justin Bemuni, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the reappointment of Yakubu Ibn Mohammed as the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, for a second term. A statement by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, states that the renewal of the DG's appointment is for a final period of 3 years and takes effect from 24th of May 2019. Time now for highlights of stories trending across the globe. Uche Ugochukwu is our guide.
South Africa began the swearing-in of its newly elected parliament, excluding Deputy President David Mabuza, who put off taking up his seat to address long-standing allegations of corruption. President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is also the leader of the ANC, will be inaugurated on Saturday. Meanwhile, Britain will hold European Parliament elections on Thursday, a vote which is expected to show growing frustration on both sides of Brexit divide nearly 3 years after the country voted to leave the European Union. The election is a result of the deadlock in Britain over the way forward on Brexit after Prime Minister Theresa May's deal with Brussels was rejected 3 times by lawmakers. From Indonesia, Jakarta's governor says at least 6 people have been killed and about 200 others injured during mass rallies against the re-election of President Joko Widodo. Demonstrations over the outcome of last month's presidential election gripped the heart of Indonesia's capital on Wednesday after an overnight face-off between the police and protesters. Finally, the World Health Organization has declared that Algeria and Argentina are now free of malaria. This means that there has not been a single case of anyone catching the disease in the countries over the past 3 years. Algeria is the second country in Africa to be officially recognized as malaria-free after Mauritius certified in 1973. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
And that's the news on the hour. Thank you for your time. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Bye for now.